What is going on, Jaguars fans? We have had a great week of videos so far. This is going to be rounding out the week. We're going to be heading right into the weekend where the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to board a plane for Houston, Texas, and play a legitimate, real football game that matters against the Houston Texans in week one. And this is just going to be a video breaking down the big matchups that you guys should be looking at throughout the game, whether it be from the coaching adjustments to how the offensive line versus the defensive line is playing, how are the receivers handling the DBs and vice versa. So let's get right into the top of it. It's going to be the battle of the head coaches. We've got two first-time NFL head coaches going at it right now. We've got David Culley, who has been an assistant head coach before in his career, and then we have Urban Meyer, arguably one of the greatest college coaches in history. He's won national championships with the University of Florida, at Ohio State. He has been dominant while he was at Utah. He has been a great college head coach. He comes into the NFL, and by all means, the hype train is riding high. We are ready to go. We are all aboard the Urban train right now. So this is going to be a huge matchup, because it's going to be two different opposing styles that we're going to see clash, where we have that NFL build up from the ground, be an assistant head coach, be a coordinator coach for a decade plus, versus you come up from the college game where you've shown success and you didn't ever come to the NFL prior to now. So those two styles will be clashing, and it's going to be a great matchup. I do got to give the edge to Urban Meyer just because he has the national championships on his pedigree. David Culley has just been that bounce around positional coach. No knock on him, because I could never do it. But judging head coaching ability, I'm absolutely going to give the edge in week one to Urban Meyer. That being said, let's roll right into the second big matchup that I believe this game has, and that is Brandon Cooks versus the Jaguars secondary. I'll even go as far to say Chris Conley and Brandon Cooks against C.J. Henderson and Shaq Griffin. Those two, if Shaq Griffin and C.J. Henderson can shut down or even slow down Chris Conley and Brandon Cooks, with that safety help, because Andre Sisco has shown that he can be a great ball-hawking safety. Rayshawn Jenkins was brought in to be that veteran leadership in the safety room. He's brought in to be that quality starter that the safety room has needed for a very long time. So, with a little bit of help over the top, I'm not expecting them to need it, because that would be taking away from Shaq Griffin and Henderson's abilities. But they're there if we need them. That's not a downside. That being said, Cooks and Conley, if we can slow them down, I see this offense getting brought to a grinding halt. The Houston Texans offense being brought to a grinding halt. The Jaguars have shown that they have the ability to stop the run all throughout the preseason. Granted, they did not see Cleveland's week one starters. They did not see New Orleans week one starters. They didn't see Dallas's week one starters. But with how dominant they have been in the run game, I'm expecting them to be more than capable to handle the Houston Texans offensive line, that front seven, to be able to handle that offensive line. So if we can manage the back half of the field, I believe the front half will settle itself, and we'll have an easy day in Houston, Texas. We'll start the season 1-0. With that being said, let's roll right into the offensive side of the ball, because I believe there's a huge matchup there as well. It is James Robinson, RB1, undrafted RB1 right there, and this offensive line that is yet to play together this year versus the Texans front seven. Obviously, they lose J.J. Watt. I'm going to start off with that. They lose J.J. Watt. That's a massive loss. And if the Jaguars can handle Whitney Merciless and inside linebacker Zach Cunningham, who had 160-plus tackles last year, if they can, those are the big two we need to watch out for: Whitney Merciless and Zach Cunningham. If we can manage those two, this team is set up for success in the run game. This offensive line has shown that it can have a 1,000-yard rusher behind it. It did it with Leonard Fournette. It did it with James Robinson. So I'm not afraid of this offensive line being able to show that it can be that dominant run threat. And now it's just a matter of how much can they handle when you're bringing that front seven, because you're going to see a stack box with them, and then it's on to Trevor Lawrence to hopefully stretch that box out and draw 1 to 2 away from the box and open up those massive running lanes that we're hoping to see James Robinson run through. If this offensive line can manage the front seven for James Robinson, you're going to see Trevor Lawrence have an incredible day one. That's off rip. That's easy to say. If this offensive line does what it's supposed to, this game's not a game. For my final big matchup, Trevor Lawrence versus Tyrod Taylor. Do I need to say more? Someone that is reliant on a very, very good team around him to take him to the playoffs like they did in 2017 versus a quarterback that has been compared to John Elway, to Peyton Manning, to the greatest quarterbacks that have played in the National Football League throughout the history of the league. Trevor Lawrence has been compared to them. Tyrod Taylor has had good teams carry him to the playoffs. Massive difference there. Trevor Lawrence shouldn't have much trouble with this Houston Texans secondary, as Bradley Roby is out for this game. He's been suspended, and Vernon Hargreaves is probably the biggest name in that secondary now. So, like I said, this Houston Texans defense doesn't have much going for it. Maybe they have some sleeper picks that I'm not aware of, but as far as big name, shine, Vernon Hargreaves, Whitney Merciless, and maybe Zach Cunningham if you're a huge fantasy individual defensive player league kind of guy. Those are the big names. I'm not afraid of them. So the big matchups shouldn't be huge matchups, but they are the biggest matchups of this game, and I wanted to bring them to you guys because I am Jags Fan Cave, and I bring you guys, I like to think, the best content that is on Jaguars YouTube, as well as Jaguars Twitter. So if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. As it helps the channel grow immensely. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. If there's another matchup that you think I missed, I would love for you to share it down below, and we can have a great conversation because that's what I want this channel to be about. I plays for Jacksonville Jaguars fans to voice their opinions, to voice their hatred, their concerns, their love. I want it to be, hey, if you just got a new signed jersey, I'd love for you to share that as well. That's what this is about. That's what the Fan Cave is. That's what the Fan Cave community is. We're all supporting our Jaguars through whether it be this YouTube channel, through Twitter, through buying memorabilia, through buying the jerseys, through buying tickets. We're here to support the Jaguars one way or another, and I would love to have you as a part of my community as we continue to grow on YouTube. So with that being said, stay safe and go Jaguars.